news feed send you random updates on your. That's history.
It's because they're thank you. It's because they're anti-LeBron. We're talking about right now for y'all. LeBron James passed the all-time scoring record, I would say Wednesday. And radio silence. I'm probably breaking it to you right now, but that's the record that was held by the great Kareem. And now LeBron is number one ever. Most points scored ever in basketball for a pass first nigga. So
Big facts. That shit just really tainted my spirit that you telling me, and it's like really being slept on, bro. Because that's one of our greats. So why they always do that to us?
Well, so I deep into NBA Twitter, but someone was like, everyone remembers the night that Steph passed Ray Allen
exactly
for like most threes, or yes, it was like most threes made, and people were like, oh my god, like give it up to Steph, and then someone else was like, okay, and we also remember when on NBA Twitter when Donovan Mitchell earlier this season put up a crazy stat line of like 71, 5, and 7.
Facts.
People were like, oh my,
a couple weeks ago.
yeah, people were like, oh my god, Donovan Mitchell, it's him, and then LeBron did this. People were like,
niggas is really sitting on their hands. That's crazy.
yeah.
And I was wondering, because I'm a TikTok fiend, I've been on my feed, I've been seeing a lot of LeBron things, but not that fact. Like I saw, I think Bleacher Report or ESPN TikTok was like, describe LeBron in one word. And then I saw a podcast where Shaq was on, and he was like, you know, I'm in my own category. You know, I'm not in anyone else's category. And they were talking about
That's
LeBron.
not a bad Shaq.
I was about to say,
that's not a bad Shaq at all.
Smoke that. Okay.
I appreciate that. But I've been seeing LeBron centered things, but not that fact. That's so wild that they're not giving him
Slept underneath the rug.
his
It's okay.
light.
They are giving LeBron like the no. Let me not say that. People are gonna give him his flowers at the end and be like, "Oh my god, I've been with you since day one." But there's something about seeing a man who's held no scandals, who's been with his high school sweetheart, his sons are doing what they want to do that people hate. This is a black man like winning in life, and people are like, ugh. LeBron, he stat pads, and LeBron jumps teams. You're like, this nigga is almost this nigga is a billionaire with a B.
Yeah.
As a basketball player.
Actively.
And is not
As a
known as an
hooper.
asshole.
Exactly. Like LeBron's a objectively good guy. Like he's funny.
He is who they try to paint Tom Brady to be.
Speaking of which, there was like a couple of weeks ago where Tom Brady had his teenage son on his lap. Did y'all see
I
that?
saw that. They were sitting on the pool chair
And gave him a kiss?
Oh, I saw something.
Not on the lips,
Yeah,
but like on
well,
the...
no, he has given his son
What
a kiss
teen,
on
what
the lip.
teenage you talking about? All of them are weird, but it gets weirder the higher the number is. Like
I think it was like the middle one.
14, 15?
Yeah, maybe.
Something like
It's
that.
still weird. No,
If this
like,
nigga got his,
like,
if this nigga got his
12, 13,
permit, I was about to say,
12,
if this nigga
13.
got his permit. It's
But
not-
it was a picture of Tom Brady sitting on a lawn chair. You know how the baddies do when they're at the pool, where they take a picture of like their thighs.
like
in the
Gucci
pool,
Man started to do when he got his six pack.
which he shouldn't have. But it was Tom, and his feet are spread, and then there are 2 feet in between him. He's like, "Love pool days with my son," or something like that. So his son was like sitting on his lap, legs out as well, on their backs, on the pool chair.
Yeah, I remember that little short movie that hit Twitter about 2013.
Oh my God.
2014.
Oh my God.
Something about the Johnsons or some shit like that.
No,
Where the son, oh, you don't know about it?
Please tell me.
I'm
about it.
a link Twitter person.
So you know what's funny about that? The director went on to have a full Hollywood directorial career. Like he's made really high budget movies.
Got his bag.
I think he made a horror flick, but I can't remember what the name was. But continue the synopsis of the short film.
So basically it was about a little kid who had an intimate relationship with his father. And where people thought in the film it would initially the father having like leading
Started
it
it,
and
yeah.
start the
son.
was
said,
the
"Give me that."
yeah
The
the
son
one that was
was-
initiating the act.
Was
His father was
crazy
getting tricked
horny
out.
for his dad,
Yeah.
and the dad was
Dad,
traumatized.
bid that over. Could you? Y'all are gonna laugh with me. Jump
Yo,
with
come
me. Jump
on.
with me.
Nah, I'm gonna let it rip like y'all niggas just leave my shit by the rail.
Y'all are
But,
crazy. Never
but
mind.
you're joking,
Sensitivity
but
training.
it got like that. Like there's a scene where he's talking to his dad on some kinky shit. Like, yeah, but
No, don't look at that. No.
but yeah. So what did Mr. Thomas Brady do? He just posted the picture.
Yeah, he posted the picture.
Was
But
he rubbing sunscreen on his son's back?
No,
no, like it was. We're my bare chest to your bare chest, or your bare back on my bare chest, my European swimsuit pressed up against your.
All right,
It's butt to nut.
Yeah.
It's butt to nut with his son.
I think the skin to skin contact father to son, like for in that area, like hug your fathers, obviously, whatever.
Not
The
at
skin
the
to skin
pool. I'm not
contact.
seeing my
When
dad
you
at the
hit
pool.
when you hit double digits, you can't just be laid up on your father like that.
I do want to ask, like,
Like
what's
10 is when you got to pull your chair up to the table. Ain't no sitting in daddy lap.
I don't think I've ever been butt to nut with my dad.
the most
either.
affection y'all got from your fathers?
What'd you say?
What's the most affection y'all got from your fathers?
I love you, son.
Yeah.
Proud of
just
you.
just that? No hug.
Yeah, win a tournament.
He kiss your forehead.
No, I don't think me and my dad have ever kissed.
Kiss your forehead.
I think he's kissed the top of my head when I was real young, but no.
Get your forehead kissed.
Yeah, I went through like a. Oh no, it's good. I'm gonna sat out the pod real quick, but then I'll pull us out with jokes. But yeah, my bad. I went through like a bad 2 years of like a string of close family friends' deaths. So my parents were like real shower you with love, because I'm the type of person when I'm like in a bad place, I like seclude, and you can't really seclude when you live with your parents. So my parents would be like, "Oh, come here, son, let me."
Yeah.
And then you always look. I lost a friend once too.
Yeah.
Nothing better. Nothing is better now.
I hate when niggas.
Our joint pain don't feel good, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Damn, nigga, you say he's gonna get us out of it. What's going on?
I think that was it.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of which, I do hate when niggas would be like, I don't know if this will make you feel better, and then tell you some shit that's like fucked up about them. And it's like, no, nigga, that don't make me feel better. Nigga.
It be making me feel better because that's like telling some crazy shit.
Now we both dumbass.
I love the relatability factor. I love that I'm not going through this alone, so it works on me.
Really?
I see.
Yeah, I like when niggas be like, "Man, I went through da 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 da," and if it lines up, you've done a
What
miraculous
if
job.
6 months later they tell you I made that up?
I'm a man of results.
I'm about to say, hey, as long
Ends
as you-
justify the means.
Sometimes,
Sometimes, man.
Sometimes
Sometimes
I
you
can't
got to
lie
get those ends.
Word to Belichick, do business is done.
You gotta keep lying to me till I'm up.
And then as soon as you see
He
him
lying to you what?
Keep lying to me till I'm up.
Okay.
Tell me like good stories. Whenever I tell you something bad, tell me a good story to make you feel good. Like,
No, don't do that. I hate them niggas.
your life sucks, but look at me.
hell
I
no.
think right when it hits, it got to live a little bit, and then you can hit me with the silver line story. Upon impact, don't tell me silver line,
Yeah.
because I can't see that right now. I know it's there. Don't
See,
tell me silver line.
that's where we differ. I do enjoy a good silver lining. Instead of relating, it's like, well, yes, this is bad, but silver lining.
Oh, my ass
I think
like, fuck you.
it depends on the situation. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
Like if it's true, if I'm in true anguish or true heartbreak,
Yeah.
let me rock out. But if it's something where it's to me, I'm feeling like I got this new thing where I won't say, "Oh, this happened and it ruined my day." I'll be like, "Oh, that ruined my next 5 minutes." Like little shit like that. If it's something like that, you can be like, "Oh well."
Well, actually,
you feel me? Like yeah,
your
but
day isn't ruined.
if it's some shit that's
5 minutes.
if it's some shit that, say your first, you just went through a really bad breakup or you just lost somebody close to you, there's nothing you can say. Let me wallow a little
Yeah,
bit.
you gotta let that shit just ride out.
Yeah.
Just fuck it.
I'm real
fucking
bad.
cry.
with
There's
it,
no
though.
shame in wallowing sometimes.
I like getting my heart broke sometimes.
That actually that brings me to a question I wanted to ask y'all. Right?
Can I do this thing?
Do what?
Can I introduce
Yeah,
this real
intro
quick?
or pod real quick.
We should have been did that. We about 20 minutes in, bro. We an episode of Martin in, and I want to talk about the intro.
That was,
Ladies and gentlemen,
I don't know if that song was clear.
Listen, hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the shit. God damn it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stuff, god damn it, ladies and gentlemen. You know where you at, you know who you with. What's your favorite group of boys, your favorite podcast? Wherever you at, we appreciate you for listening. Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, I already said that. Google Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify. I don't got Spotify, but Spotify too, god damn it.
You're fine.
Wherever you at, we appreciate you for tuning in, listening. Goddamn, make sure you tell a friend, tell your mama, tell your sister, tell your auntie. That goddamn it, we love them.
Tell your little uncle.
Your aunt,
The little uncle.
your aunt, is
The
she
uncle
cute?
that you helped raise.
Is your
You
aunt
babysat
cute?
your uncle. Because your
aunt
mama and your daddy was around.
Okay. If your aunt cute, Tell her to follow me on Instagram. Don't tell my girl. Though.
Yeah, like what
If I had one.
doing?
If I had one. Bro, hey, we appreciate y'all.
What are we doing?
I've never seen a nigga just jump off a leg.
Like,
With no parachute.
no,
And it was like,
no
even
type of
he pulled the
chasm.
parachute string and it had holes in it. Like,
Like we're all on flat ground, and Tay's like, you know what? Let me go find a fucking clip.
Hey,
Let me
no.
go.
yeah.
I did want to ask y'all, bro.
Wait, no. First,
Go back to yours.
Wait,
I'm sorry.
first.
I was about to say.
I know y'all miss my voice. I know it's been what, about 4 or 5 weeks at this point since y'all last heard from me. I want to open up with Happy New Year to y'all. Also, I missed Christmas with y'all as well. So Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa. Shout out to all those holidays, but I'm back. Y'all can't get rid of me anymore. I'm here on this couch. I moved in, so y'all are welcome. Y'all are welcome. Now, talk your shit.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, first things first, shout out to UGA. You know what I'm saying? The
Go
boys did
Dogs.
what they were supposed to do. They tried Nick Saban on national TV, but it's cool. The tide will continue to roll. Shout out to UGA. He really called that man a bitch to his face. No cap.
Oh my God.
No cap. That nigga said, well, UGA is, imagine you being a contender, right? And I sit here and tell you that you ain't shit. Like, that nigga said, well, UGA being the powerhouse. You remember what that felt like, Nick? UGA is the powerhouse in football. They are the status. They are the stat quo right now in college football.
To give the context, after UGA completely dog stomped the fuck out of TCU, they had Coach Nick Saban up with the reporters, and one of the reporters said the equivalent of that, of like, hey, Georgia's here forever. They are a powerhouse school. I think Georgia, I think 2012 Miami, and there's no one else. And Nick Saban hits the greatest. It's like that Metro Boomin intro for Heroes and Villains. It's like, y'all are lucky. I'm so nice. But Nick Saban looked over at the guy.
Duly noted.
Saban called his little
And he
way
took that personally.
Yeah, he said, hey, go ahead and hit that recruiting class of 2029.
Oh, God.
Go and tell them we got 3 Hellcats for them now.
Facts.
Tell them,
We took them off the black market. You know what I'm saying? Them exclusive motherfuckers. Yeah.
Saban be
Dissolve
called
the
niggas.
agricultural department in Alabama.
Facts.
Dissolve
Fuck
the
'em, yeah.
arts and theaters. We're putting it all in the football, boy.
All in the
Ain't
football.
shit in there, but Birmingham, boy, ghost town.
Yeah, ain't
Should I
shit.
go back?
Alabama
Hell
as
no.
a whole.
Right.
Alabama
Only for
and the city of
Tuscaloosa.
Columbus. Like, they could have them niggas too. Like,
Alabama is the state that the U.S. forgot about.
facts. That's the no state left behind.
Nah.
Them niggas left behind
I
like a
see your
motherfucker.
Alabama. I raise you a St. Louis.
Missouri?
Nigga, don't try Nelly like that, Nick.
Yeah, nah.
Or Cedric the Entertainer,
Alabama,
nigga.
Alabama is them states. Alabama,
Jason
Mississippi.
Tatum, nigga.
You guys can't talk about Alabama like it doesn't birth 30% of the NFL.
We still got
Alabama,
Georgia.
Them niggas
Alabama.
aren't
Wait.
cloned.
got
Alabama, the
Georgia.
school.
The state of Alabama.
No.
Please go look at the recruiting.
It's Georgia,
shit.
Florida.
Georgia, Florida,
Florida.
Cali, Texas.
That's it.
Niggas don't know.
They go to
Saban
school in
has-
Alabama.
I don't know.
Saban has a little tank where every
There's-
year he makes a deal with the demon. He slices open his palm, secretes semen, and says, "I will have no more children
That's crazy.
if you make this body for me."
That's wild.
And then he births black bodies.
That's crazy.
So
That is
Alabama,
nuts.
Georgia,
That's
Florida.
crazy.
What'd you say, Cali?
Cali.
Yep,
Cali produced a lot of good quarterbacks.
I believe you. They sound right.
Yeah. Hurt anybody coming.
Who do y'all have for the Super Bowl?
I would like to see the Eagles and the Chiefs.
Okay. I wouldn't be mad at that. Oh, how about them Cowboys? They ain't lying.
They're worth noting. I just know the Chiefs is kind of becoming that. Don't really bet against them, but I really
Because of that little light skinned fucko who throw the ball 30,000 feet.
looking this way type shit.
Patrick Mahomes.
But I also would like to see Jalen Hurts have success. I'm still not over how they hold him at Alabama. Tua had one game and he just took his job. So
that's how it go.
Yeah.
I had
Is Patrick Mahomes still playing football? I thought that nigga worked for State Farm.
face ass.
Yeah.
So he's the oldest quarterback coming out of the NFC right now in the playoffs, and he's 29 years old. So he made this post where he's like, "I'm the old head. I'm 29 years old." Because he was playing against damn near both Mannings, with Drew Brees, with Tom Brady's up against these niggas who were like 30 something.
How many seasons this nigga played?
You know, like
Patrick
6.
Mahomes? He's got like a couple. He's 29, and I think he signed at 21 or 22. So
Crazy.
he's been
It don't feel that long. I feel like 4 years type
good
shit.
the entire time.
Yeah.
So
Well, not 3, 4, but yeah, okay.
Niggas love an underdog, you know.
Falcons are out.
Falcons still suck. So Falcons suck. So
Dirty Birds.
we got to get rid of the uniforms. Then maybe we'll get good.
The uniforms are tough. The black and red.
No.
They gotta stop going to fucking Magic City. Goddamn.
We
gotta-
niggas have fun.
I think no Atlanta franchise is great at developing talent.
I
don't.
agree.
We don't never take the good and make it better. We take the good and say, hey, take us
yeah.
there.
I hear what you're
Yeah.
saying. It's like an incubator of a city. It's you have to come here as a star.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't gonna. Ain't nobody really.
Speaking of, where were you earlier today?
Oh shit! Shout out to that boy Mike, man. City of Stockbridge had a little honoring for because he won the damn Rookie of the Year and shit.
That's so awesome, man.
That's
that
pretty
shit
cool.
He got
hard.
to keep
okay.
the city. He probably can get.
I think he did. I wasn't.
Whatever the
the
fuck
mic
that
wasn't
means.
good. The mic wasn't good, so he was saying.
Nigga said, I think he did.
But
give
no,
this
he
nigga
do got a
key.
Michael Harris the second day. I do know that.
Okay, that's
That's
hard.
that's
hard.
fine.
I ain't gonna cap.
Man, shout out Mike Harris. Bro.
Wait,
Much
shout out
that
love
nigga,
from
bro.
the Table
You
Rose
said
podcast.
this. Yeah. Shout out Michael. I don't know you personally, but you're doing a great job for our baseball team.
You play baseball real well.
You play baseball real good.
Like you, like the best rookie of this year. Baby.
Crazy.
I heard you be hitting them thumpers. You said he has a day. Was that issued by the city or the county?
City of Stockbridge.
Okay, can
When is
I?
that day? The 24th.
I believe it's January 26th.
I'm not
Maybe
going to
wrong.
cap to you based on insider information. They give days to niggas for anything, but I know he deserves it.
Yeah, he definitely deserved it. But I
deserves
definitely
it.
He got the day today.
Hey, no,
He's stepping on
Nigga said, he was like, his day the 26th.
I'm not-
My day the 27th. Grandmama them day the 29th.
I'm not being a hater, bro.
Okay.
I'm
And
really
they said
not
they got
trying to be a hater.
365 of them to issue out for real. So
Oh,
366 every 4. You get the leap year, you get an extra.
It's about to be like buying a damn star. Goddamn it! Everybody
that
has
blew my
Right.
day when I heard they were giving the same star.
Buying
to,
your girl a star?
about 50. Have I ever bought a star? Absolutely.
You a wild boy. How
Where's
many
that?
times you found it? That's it right there. I hate niggas, bro. Wait, I think
You weren't happy as a kid.
I
Huh?
think it's the one.
You
Right,
didn't feel joy as
I
a
think
kid.
huh?
I used to have a little telescope. I used to.
You
I'll
look like
forward it
you
to
look
you.
like you on the
See,
telescope.
real niggas buy a plot of
Oh,
land
God,
in
you-
Ireland and Scotland and
No.
become a laird or a lady.
Real
I
niggas
mean,
like 2
or a
Chainz
lord.
get moon rock, actual moon rock delivered to the house.
Hey,
You think we
yeah.
ever been to the moon?
So he got what day?
This nigga think he
This
buzzed
nigga,
over.
nah, nigga,
Ain't gonna
nigga
lie.
telling us about a Scorsese's.
I'm just saying. I've been to Hawaii. I seen what that little deserty area of Hawaii looks like. It look real like the moon.
That shit look real intergalactic.
It looks crazy. You're like, well, this go moon rock right here.
Oh yeah.
And then you start asking questions. You're like, well,
Who the
this is
fuck?
moon rock.
A lot of
Where
shit
did 2
fake.
Chainz get that shit from, and why he think it was real? I love 2 Chainz, but that was not it.
Niggas
Because
rich.
he's rich enough to believe.
He said, "Fuck it."
When you rich, you can believe in
Say whatever
anything.
the fuck you want.
You
Yeah.
can believe in whatever. It don't matter if it make you money. Speaking of rich people, famous people, and their art, just came out. Hate to be the downer here. Just came out that the co-creator of Rick and Morty, beloved TV show on Adult Swim and Hulu, 6 seasons, has been arrested for felony domestic abuse. Felony, not misdemeanor.
Not misdemeanor.
Nigga, felony.
What's the difference?
Felony.
If I thump my bitch across the forehead, that's a misdemeanor.
It might be.
Okay, so what's
But-
a full-fledged felony?
I think you really gotta
beating the
beat the
You got
fuck
hit the
out of
little
that
wind up
motherfucker.
niggas. You do why I oughta one of them. Hit a nigga
You got to throw it to 18,
Sensitivity
16
training.
marriage.
hit a nigga with a why I oughta.
You know what's
like-
crazy is that what he's getting charged with now was just marriage in the 1950s.
That's a fact. Man, like she had it coming. Niggas said it was some crazy shit.
That nigga Sean Connery says sometimes when your bitch get a little crazy, you gotta pop in the mouth.
Sensitivity
What that nigga
training.
D.I. usually said.
Sensitivity training.
No, it wasn't like a battle rap bar.
It didn't sound like it. It
was
sounded like an
like,
affirmation.
Like it was like I have another tasteless joke to throw into the pot. It's what it was.
Yeah.
Sick
I see what
Yeah.
you brought.
That
I have
nigga
something to
D.I. said,
raise.
I ain't never seen. That nigga said, I ain't never seen a quiet bitch get choked.
Sensitivity training.
I'm saying.
This is all
Hey,
jokes.
man,
This
I'm
is
not
all
out here-
comedy.
I'm not
We
out
do
here
not
hitting the
condone domestic abuse and domestic violence and violence against women. All right?
I don't condone violence against anybody.
You're right. But especially
That's
women.
not true.
Hey, no.
Why
See a
it's not?
nigga,
You have to get
no,
Twitter.
No. You see a nigga in the airport. He's hey, move. I'm trying to get in front of you. You're
I
gonna
don't-
punch him.
I don't, not for
Ain't nobody doing
not
that
for
to me.
trying to get in front of me. Like that. He gonna
you
have to
see
do
a-
it crazy. He gonna disrespect me. I don't condone violence.
Look at you.
I don't condone violence across genders.
Do you think you're in public and you see a lady like pop hit her nigga in the mouth? You gonna say something?
No, pause. I got
'cause
something
I'm-
even worse.
I'm not saying nothing about nobody domestic
I got
dispute in
something even
public.
worse. You gotta get Twitter, bro.
Yeah.
It's this Twitter video. This couple at a bowling alley. Bruh man probably whooping her ass talking shit. Shorty got a bowling ball in her
Oh, I
hand.
saw that.
Wobble, bruh man. He out.
Sleep.
Nigga woke up.
Nigga dead.
But the crazy thing is, she hit the tie loose step over.
Oh,
she stepped over.
hit
his
the strike.
body.
Did she hit the strike?
She hit the strike.
Oh.
You know,
Not
how crazy
okay.
that is. Bop in the face with a bowling ball. Walk up. Bop. Strike.
Bro, the strike.
You know,
She had the bumpers on though.
It don't matter.
Yeah, it don't matter.
He should
never-
have had his bumpers up.
I'm never one to victim blame,
No, that's you don't.
but stop whatever you guys are doing. I'm not one to victim blame, but he made the first mistake here, and the first mistake is he was with a bitch bigger than him. We don't do that. We don't do that.
She was,
Bruh,
she was
no.
just stalking.
She was taller than this nigga as
Bro,
well.
I
I
would've-
thought he was on the little step down from the platform. Them niggas was toe to toe. And she gave that
towered
nigga the
over him.
business.
Why would you
Right.
talk shit to somebody who has an active weapon in their hand?
Bro,
Right.
no.
I learned that lesson.
Honestly,
And the
very
way
quickly.
the way he was looking, I'm never looking up to argue with my chick. I'm never. And another thing, Teresa, like I'm
You pitch him up 3 octaves.
No,
because
bro.
if she taller than you, that's what you talk like.
It's even worse if it's the other way. No,
That's-
another thing,
And,
Teresa.
another thing,
I won't
Teresa.
stand for this.
And another thing, Wendy Williams, I would not go for that shit.
I would have never thought she was gonna swing that motherfucker. A bowling ball?
I don't think anybody thought it.
No, she got a little arm about.
Nigga, what?
Yeah.
It was a bowling ball punch with it, so you know.
Let's think about what weight the volleyball was. That's fun. Like, it was,
A cool 14 pound
in fact,
heaviest ball.
motherfucker with the big finger hose.
For him to get
nigga.
slumped,
With the big finger hose.
even
Yeah.
if she's touching the temple, you need some
Nigga.
heat behind that,
Yeah.
some momentum. And she got it up there quick too. She,
I'm not even sure. Like, we're joking. I'm not even sure if he's alive. It like he got
Nah,
right to the blow.
nah, he did
back
wake
of the
up.
head.
He
He
woke
did.
up, looked straight at the cameraman. Who you hitting first? You get knocked out like that. Who you
I'm
hitting
making sure that video
Word to
deleted. Hey, bro. Hey, bro.
Charleston White. If I
bro.
get knocked out and I wake up and I see them phones,
Still there.
I'm shooting the nigga with the phone.
Yeah, well.
oh god, oh god. First
the
time
nigga
to
with the
watch you
phone.
delete that. Hey, bro, delete that off. I'm standing right here.
Nah,
with you,
and
just
then, but
like,
not, you know, you
delete
got
that off
an
your
iPhone
phone.
now, but then go to the recently deleted phone. Real quick, my boy.
And then go get your iPad. That's in the car.
All that shit.
Let me go see you delete out that too.
Bruh.
Tell him.
Ain't no way I get knocked out like that. I can't get knocked out like that.
Well, going back to the whole, thing that started the conversation, do you
Domestic
think
violence.
that if another season of Rick and Morty comes out, are you going to support it?
Oh,
Man.
I'm gonna watch it how I always watch it. It's like I'm not a devoted fan. If it's on and ain't nothing else, I'm gonna watch it. I never really search for it. I enjoy it when it come on, but type shit. I don't really have too much a horse in this race, as they say.
He's also a creator of Solar Opposites. I really like that show as well. I like both shows. It's a Hulu show. It's a Hulu original that was created by Justin Roiland and another writer. I can't remember his name, but it has a similar feel and animation style as Rick and Morty, but a whole different setting and plot. Where I'm coming from is as a deep rooted fan. I've been watching Rick and Morty since season 1. Like, watch for when season updates come out, season premieres, and all that. Like, I love Rick and Morty, and I love Solar Opposites. And this information coming out has really I wouldn't say struck me, but it has given me a lot of things to think about because years ago, Dan Harmon, who is another writer and producer and director that I admire, he had some problematic dealings with writing staff and pulling his power, having, as he puts, a crush on a writer that didn't feel the same way, and he apologized publicly and went through the whole thing. And it makes me feel like, damn, can we have anyone? Can we have anyone that we can really admire anymore? Because there's always skeletons in the closet.
No,
we can't.
Like, actually, no. Well, not skeletons in the closet, but not to transition us away from this because domestic violence is a very important topic.
It is.
But I don't know if you guys saw like a couple of weeks ago, there's a story that ran Michelle Obama, who she was doing like, I think a book tour, and she got into like a podcast space with a group of other women. And she's like, yeah, for 10 years of my marriage, I didn't want to be a Barack. Like, I didn't like him at all.
like, was this the first 10? Was the middle 10 slump?
That matters.
Important.
That's
important.
It matters.
Even then,
Because if he's running for president and you don't want to be with this nigga, it's like,
I think
he's kind of got a lot going on.
But post senator.
Okay.
So he was on a short list of people who the Democratic Party was going to push for. She's like,
So she stuck it out for the potential.
I don't know why she stuck it out.
That's what it sounds like.
I don't know why she stuck it out.
It's like,
Let me tell you something about these harlots. I'm just
but if you're running for president, having a family is a big part of being a politician.
His college sweetheart.
You can't just be a single man running for president of the fucking United States.
But why not though? Is it solely for image?
It's solely for
Family
image.
man, relatable.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
solely.
you have to think about like
And he's already black,
that, but like think about like your grandmother, right?
I'm sorry.
Where I saw the joke brewing. Let me get this realistic point off first. But think about your grandmother. She sees like a beautiful black family. That is an incentive to go vote. And it's the same thing for like, not necessarily speak for any demographic, but certain demographics see like a black man being with like a very successful black woman, and they're like, oh, okay, this guy is like, he's approachable. He's someone that I want to vote for because of who his wife is, because he's stuck by like a strong black woman rather than going for something else. So,
and you also have to think about competition and winning, right? When capitalism drives our whole nation, and when you think of government and politicians, that's a heavy. The winning aspect is a heavy burden to bear.
Right.
And so, if you're coming in this as a unit, a family unit, because that matters, image matters. These socialisms matter, not socialism, but these societal norms matter. You got to think about those dark rooms where someone from the Democratic Party has sat Michelle down like, listen, I've heard rumors.
oh, absolutely.
Where you're thinking about leaving Barack. If you leave Barack, I don't know what's going to happen to you.
I mean, it's to go even to elected official position. Everything that you've done up until that moment
play.
will be found. Like it's even further than will be played. Like,
We can protect you
Yeah.
if you stay. But
we
if
know
you leave,
everything. Like,
we don't know what's
we
going
know
on.
about that high school girlfriend that you cheated on. Even though it's high school, she's gonna come up in somebody's campaign notes, and they're gonna say, "Well, what about Heather?" So we're gonna go quiet her. We're gonna go give her something, but you belong to us now.
I feel like-
not even know us. Like, you are our bitch. So when you win presidency, do all these things, and then when you're done presidency, every time we need you, you come beckoning.
You guys familiar with Ghost? Like the Power spinoff with Tariq?
Yes.
It's
That's part
almost
two,
like
right?
council. Yeah, it's almost like when that councilman was trying to run for I forgot what the position was, but one way or another, his opponent came up with some pictures of him and his college roommate in blackface, and it was like, listen, just step back, let him run, give him your full support, never see the light of day. And I think I can't help but think of how many times that happens just on a
In
daily.
history.
Yeah,
Daily.
that shit has to happen.
Every day.
Towards the Michelle thing, I feel like she is more so looking towards like like you were kind of just saying the personal, like motherfuckers diving into her personal life, because like it's not just him running for president. It's like the whole fucking family, like
her
everybody.
kids.
Even when the story came out about one of the daughters or something, it was something minor.
She's smoking weed in
bro,
Boston,
okay.
which was legal.
Like, bro, come on.
And recreational at that, not just, you know.
So it's like it's not just him running for president. So it's kind of like a baggage everybody has to put on
I
their back
want to
type
know. Are y'all done being serious?
shit. Go ahead.
No, I'm so interested in this.
That's right.
I got a couple things. I want to know how crazy her skeletons are to stick it out with a nigga for 10 years.
Yeah.
I ain't did shit. They got me in a 10-year sentence with somebody I do not like or love.
You never know.
Presidency.
It's presidency.
That nigga gets
They'll make
her-
some shit up about you.
She gets into a lot of rooms on her own accord. Full stop. Period. Paragraph break.
Yes.
Me saying I'm the wife of the fucking president? Who's saying no to me ever? Ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
You doing it?
Nigga. If my girl
Doing
told
what?
me one day that she was gonna do something that was good, if she told hypothetical for y'all.
Yes.
Yes, I have had this conversation with my girl. She makes it famous. She becomes a famous singer, but in that she has a hold up a certain persona of her being attainable. So I become like a side nigga at that point. I'm like the
In the shadows.
yeah, exactly. Like, like she might have someone, but she might not. And any of y'all could get with her, maybe. And then she goes on red carpets with other dudes. I was like, as long as I get that stipend every month.
Nigga. If I can cry on a yacht rather than my 1-bedroom apartment
I'm going to be there, babe.
or the basement of my parents' house,
Rock
I'm
it out, love.
crying on the yacht.
I'm big Stedman.
Yeah. What you need? You need me to take pictures and send them to?
Yeah.
Nigga, I'll be a personal
I'll hold the
cameraman.
camera. I'll take the picture. I'll pick him out. Hey,
The
he's
stipend
What
has
type
to
of
be
picture
fat.
are we saying?
any kind.
All right.
As long as the stipend good.
Yeah, as long as the stipend is good, I do anything.
Man, come on.
And that's the
I'm getting that
craziest part
suitcase.
You need me to
because
be a fluffer?
You see-
20K a month minimum.
you see online and these famous people or, you know, people who have a lot of money who get in front of a camera, they're like, "Oh, money won't make you happy. Money won't make you happy. You'll still be depressed if if you got money. You know, all this stuff." I'm like, "Well, nigga, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got it. I don't. It's like that Mike Epps live for Friday. But you don't gotta live here. I do. You know, you gonna get me in trouble. It's like, nigga, I have to live this shit. You
Yeah.
don't. So like, can you let a nigga like at least
Hold a couple dollars.
you know what I'm saying? Can I experience
Matter of
it
fact,
and be
send me
depressed?
20.
Literally.
Can I be depressed with millions and then you be broke and see who's
Hey, like,
better?
what you
know?
doing with your
They
millions to be
say
depressed?
the only people that say money and everything either ain't never had it or always
Always
had
had
it.
it, yep.
If you can't speak from both sides of the spectrum, I can't really value what you're saying in regards to it.
How
In
can
regards
you,
to money.
how can you like be that rich and like, well, I mean, it may be a way, but I might be oblivious to it. But like, how can you be depressed in that? Like, if you can do whatever you want,
I don't think that's what we're saying. There's
Anyone
still
can feel
levels. Yeah, the depression is. Yeah, I mean, I think unfortunately as a community we haven't had the luxury of dealing with it, like addressing it, for a very long time. And this kind of circles back to my question earlier. I'm gonna put a pin in the rest of those jokes that I had.
Good. Healthy.
I'm grown.
Proud of you, man.
But
Big
we
2023.
we never really. We're the generation of figuring out what the fuck is wrong with us, and I say that just
Yeah.
to make it very, very clear. We're the generation of maybe that's not it, or damn, I
Breaking
finally get
the
the time
groove,
to figure
or-
out how I feel, what made me feel this way. We have that time and luxury now.
We have time to bleed.
But at the same time, you look at, and this is kind of raw thought. I had the basis of it, but are we
Half-baked.
Half-baked, thank you. Are we kind of short-stopping ourselves? Because sometimes people reach greatness out of spite. And a lot of times folks be like, oh, I want to do this out of a pure heart, da-da-da-da-da-da. But sometimes we need something to taint
a
our
chip
spirit
on
a
your
little
shoulder.
bit, chip on our shoulder, to get what we're trying to get to. So are we, is healing overrated?
I would say yes. I personally, I say this kind of. Oh, hold on. Why you looking at me like that?
Make your point.
yeah, make your point.
Yeah, let
Get
me
it
make my
cut.
point because I might be saying it wrong, but y'all know what I'm saying. But like, I'm the type of person to put myself through like dirt and kind of like the bottom kind of. I kind of use it as a trampoline type shit. Like, nigga, all right, Like, you want to change? Fuck it. I'm gonna put myself through all this bullshit because apparently I ain't learning or whatever the fuck.
You're a rock bottomer.
Yeah, once I get to the bottom, I'm like, all right, nigga, fuck this. Like, this is I can't live down here, so we gotta go. There's no direction but up from here type shit. So I feel like that shit kind of help you out. I mean, not necessarily, it's not for everybody, of course, but like, hey, some people gotta go through that shit because you're not gonna really understand or get to where you gotta go until you've been through that shit. You might just be a regular ass nigga, but shit, I can't be that nigga. I'm sorry. Okay. It's okay being a regular ass nigga though, but
So, do you think healing is overrated? Also, while he thinks about that, I miss when you used to open a podcast saying who all's here, because sometimes I'm listening, I'm like, damn, I wonder if they know it's me, Christian, who has this voice. You know, what if this is someone's first time tuning in?
they know you.
I don't know. Anyway, is healing overrated?
I'm the Bond and Bandit again.
Niggas.
I don't think it's overrated. I think it's properly rated. I don't know if it's over or under. I hate to be the nigga that says depends, but it really does depend, you know? I'm a nigga that talks in analogies. There could be a situation where, you know, you have all your limbs, but this is not a place where that is an advantage. You know what I'm saying? You could have, you could be. Sometimes being callous is what you need to be to survive, and that is the environment you're in. You know, you can't talk about feelings when you're on the battlefield. You know, you have to have that killer instinct to say, I'm going to survive no matter what. And you tell yourself, I'm immortal. Nothing's going to, you know, is it a time for love and compassion when you're in the heat of battle? No.
You smoking this.
When you're in peacetime, Jordan Peterson is a psychologist, or excuse me, he's a therapist, psychologist. And he said, and I don't agree with everything he says, but he said, it's more valuable to be a man that has fangs but knows when to bear them than to be a man that doesn't have fangs at all.
That's essentially what they teach in like these martial arts classes, knowing to defend and have these techniques, but the real strength is in the discernment of when you use it.
And you only get your fangs with the trials and the battles and the scars.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think you summed that up perfectly. And it kind of hit me because in conversation with a close friend, it was a very hard transition for me to not be so callous in certain situations whereas I'm like, ultimately, I don't feel like in certain moments feelings matter. You have to perform or you have to show up. Because in a space where you're like, oh, let me address what I'm feeling and you work through it, now you feel like, oh, everything's okay. And it doesn't really light a fire under your butt. If everything's okay, what am I working towards? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's facts.
I'm trying to think how I want to fucking say this. Fuck. Did you say how you feel?
Man, shout out to all the big niggas making it work. I got my own mic stand for about 3 weeks now. Y'all boys ain't fucking.
I still got my bird chest. Shout out me.
I think, well, I'll take a step back. I think there is validity in what you all are saying. And I think you guys are providing definitely like a fresh perspective, and especially with the idea of like things rather than being someone who, or I won't extend it to things, but being able to understand when your strength is needed, but not necessarily using your strength as a weapon all the time.
Right.
It's something that is a form of protection. It isn't a form of aggression. Right. Where my mind goes when I'm listening to the question of is healing overrated, it harkens back to our conversation about capitalism, where we are viewing this question and the idea of healing from a perspective of people who have healed in some way, shape, or form. But I allow myself to think of a world where like there's no need for like there to be healing, right? There's no need for people to have to go through the concept of like going through a bad time to get to a good time, and that's like a perfect experience for me. You wouldn't have to grind to get to where you're at because you're at a place where you find contentness. You find contentness because you're not struggling. You're not trying to get over someone. So I listened to like the Fangs analogy, and that makes sense for like the world we live in. But in like a perfect world, if there's no one who is going to contend you in such a way that forces you to protect yourself, you don't need Fangs. You never have to get to the point where you're like, I had to develop this, because you know that like you don't even come up with the concept of Fangs because you live in such a place that it's like there is peacetime, and peacetime is normalcy rather than
A rarity.
an anomaly. Right. So that's where I hope for that. Like eventually we heal in such a way that our children interact with people who are also not having to deal with generational trauma, and then their children are in a place where it's like, oh, like I wake up and like I don't have a concept of what war is. I don't have a concept of what fearing for my life to go to school is. Yeah. Because this is normal, but for us, we're looking at them like, oh, you guys are in peacetime. Right. Like you guys are in what we strove for because we did the legwork now. So you guys never even had to conceptualize what that looks like.
So you would live in a world where
May I have a rebuttal?
You just gave me a crazy break.
Let me ask you a question. Like, so would you rather live in a world, or who would you? I mean, of course we would never know. No, hell no.
Oh.
Of course we would never know. But would you trade yourself? The version of you that's never been through none of your hardships, and of course all the shit that made you who you are today. Would you trade that self in for a version that's never been through shit, and how you just describing society as like nobody's been through shit, so it's just straight sunshines and rainbows?
No, that's an important question. I think if I could go into a world where it isn't just me who's rainbows and sunshine and shit, absolutely. I would, because I wouldn't want to be the callous. Yeah, I would want to be in a utopia because I wouldn't want to be the callous one in a place where everyone is trusting. Because then I'm looking at people like, oh, like you have a hidden motive. And these people are like, no, I'm genuinely telling you, like, I love you.
You wouldn't see him as that, though, because you always see sunshine. Well, okay.
So that's what I'm saying. That, like you change your perception almost of, like, what we know gets wiped. And all we know is a place of, like, pure trust because we have no reason to doubt people.
May I provide a rebuttal? So I know this is a fallacy. It's called a nature fallacy or the natural fallacy. But the idea of that utopia would have to be modeled out of something that we have never known to exist.
Absolutely.
Because even when you look at nature, right? Having fangs or not having fangs, you're both at a disadvantage, so there's balance, right? You might have fangs, but you have to catch me if I'm prey.
Sure.
Right? So, in a sense, what I'm trying to say is...
It balances out everything.
Is that I think the perfect the perfect world is that balance. If someone has to be at the bottom, if someone has to be at the bottom per se, taking economics out of it. If it's just we're all on this rock, we have to make it work. If someone has to be the one with the fangs and one without the fangs, there's still a fight there. There's still a fight that says, yes, you could eat me, but if you don't eat me, you starve, right? I can still run. I can still fight in a certain sense. Yes, I can. Yes, I don't have the same abilities you do, since you have a more dominant way of going at the world. You must eat me to survive, and I don't need to eat you to survive. But I think that might be the perfect pinpoint.
It's kind of it's like nature.
It's
just an innate hunt or huntee. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And the only difference between us is we have us and animals. We have the mind and
there's no shame on either side, right? If you get caught, GG. If you don't catch me, GG. You know what I'm saying? Good game.
Gotcha.
It's an ebb and flow of the.
That's what my nephew called my mom.
Gigi. It's the ebb and flow of
birthday,
how we
Gigi.
live.
Happy birthday, mama.
Happy
Clip this.
birthday.
I gotta give it to her.
It's the ebb and flow of life.
I hear you. I think this is an important conversation, so I don't want to conceptualize everything down. But at the end of the day, I just ask for like us to be able to expand our thought process, because what you're saying makes sense from like how we view it, right? Mm-hmm. But if you took a step back out of like your lived experience and you were an alien looking down on a new planet and trying to formulate how do you want to structure this planet, you had the option of either setting up winners and losers, or you have an option where utopia exists where there's no losers. For the fanged one, there is a plentiful bounty that doesn't require someone else to lose because of how you set it up. It's crazy. It's a hard thing to conceptualize.
It's not really hard to conceptualize. Not for nothing, and don't take this away. Mm-hmm. I think it's pointless to do so.
I hear you.
You feel what I'm saying? That's my only kickback. Is like, cause in idealism, I agree 1,000%. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to even make sense of it because that's just not the reality.
Right. It's cynicism, but
Right.
it's cynicism built
on my end.
Yes, but it's built from lived experience,
Right.
Which it takes away the connotation of it being bad because it's how you have experienced life, which is fact. So I can't tell you try to imagine this because you can only imagine it through a mind that has lived what you lived so far.
And to that point, and we can move on from this topic after this, but
I really
I
like
was
this
having
philosophical
I enjoyed it,
conversation. Yeah.
but you kind of gave me a breakthrough, and whereas I was probably the bitch ass nigga, not bitch ass nigga in like being a bitch, but like I was being stubborn in my point of view, because I do have a friend whose life was lived rather than surviving.
Sure. I hear you.
And in that state, they kind of had an idealism of what life was and just different things, whereas I have to teach them some of the things that are noticeably different as far as, say, society. Like you have a Whole Foods in your area. However, we don't have access to that, or didn't have access to that living in this part of town. And that's by design. Things like redlining, things that really exist to make those things happen. But just on a space where they could go on a trip, really no questions asked, not thinking about how it would affect them financially for the next few months. Whereas growing up, if I was going on a trip, we had to plan around it. Mm-hmm. And I was on some hating shit solely from circumstances.
Yeah,
but at the same time, lived experience taught me that, and I can't fault them because they were in a position that was different or quote unquote better.
Right.
So I had to hold that. So, but nah. Yeah, I love y'all. That was good. I enjoyed that.
We cooked that.
Can I plug Interlude right now? So I'm an actor, guys. In college, I acted in a feature film called Things We Like. The trailer is out now. If you go on Instagram and, Google Things We Like.
Okay.
So I saw you repost that. Why you ain't hitting nigga like, hey, bro, I'm in this. Fuck with me.
Well,
because he's weird.
Yeah.
All three of y'all are weird.
Whoa.
But y'all are weird in different ways.
Watch your mouth.
It's okay. I'm a fan. I'm watching creatives be weird. But you talk about your weirdness first, and then I'll talk about all three of y'all's weirdness.
Well, first of all, it's kind of charged in a sense because I'm only in like a scene, which shouldn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter
At all.
But also, it's like I acted in it as a favor rather than
something you were passionate about.
I was passionate about.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that it's bad. Like, it looks really good, and I'm glad. Like, and plus, like, the director and writer was my young nigga in college. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did a lot for me. I did a lot for him. But like that part of me is also in the past. I've did a lot of ghosting, a lot of healing, and I'm kind of just coming back into that relationship via the film.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
You know, and I don't want to make it weird and try to pretend like I've been along for the ride the whole time. You know, when I did do some distancing.
Okay.
It's like kind of a strategic thing on my end. No, I wouldn't even call it strategic. It's more of like emotional walking on ice, where I want to support without it making it about me.
I think, because I get the gist of where it is. I think at some point we just kind of drop our pride and like just acknowledge the distance. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I know we haven't connected in a while, but I'm super proud of you, bro.
Exactly. Like, you're
Real
adults.
simple. Yeah.
I think to really get into my creative fan bag, because I do want to spend the last part of this podcast listening to you three talk about all the things that you guys have pushed out this week, because it's been a big week for all three of y'all. But as a fan who's also a critic of y'all, I come up with like a word for each of y'all for like your potential hold back when it comes to just like interacting with people.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Oh, I was nervous with that one. With you, I think you are. Oh my God! Oops! Ouch! For all of these, I say this with love, and as a fan, but also as people who like. I actually understand all of your psyches a lot more now than I did as a fan. I think you're an egoist. I think that you allow your ego to cloud what would usually be rational thoughts from you. I think that you just like you have like a voice in the back of your head that says like, don't do this because I'm Simeon Webb, or don't do this because I'm Simeon Webb. So there's a distinction there, but that's the thing that I find myself looking at you whenever we talk about stuff like this, because I've seen you produce stuff since we were freshmen in college. I saw like the peak of you telling everyone about your stuff, and then I saw the plummet of it being like your close friends, and then eventually to a point where it was like you and me sitting in a room watching stuff that you were a part of. I was like, there are so many people who support you. Like, let's blow this bitch up.
Yeah.
And that's the egoist. Your reaction right there was like, yeah, but I'm Simeon Webb, so like people don't really support me. They were just there for the ride. Sit on that. Your word is cynic. I think that you view people's support with a lens of cynicism of like, are people doing this to be performative? Are people actually supportive of me? And watching how you react to like certain people saying like, I love this versus other people say I love this. It's like for the people that matter to you, you're like, oh man, like that means something to me. But then to the people outside of that who you view with that cynic lens, you're like, oh, like good looks, appreciate it, sounds good. Which is crazy as an artist, because you're gonna get so many fake fans who are like there for parts of the ride and then hop off and then hop back on and be like, oh my God, Cozy, you remember when we were kicking it back in that club back in March of 2021? You did that little pop song and you did a little spin. We were like, oh, nigga, that was
a little pop song with a little spin.
So that's been my word for you. And you are a true and thorough soloist. There's something about the way that you navigate developing, sharing, and talking about your creative work that is so like almost like the antithesis to what art is. Like, you develop things and then don't share it, and you don't believe in sharing it. You don't believe in like receiving any type of response to it. You birth children and then say, go die in a closet, which is crazy, because then when you drop stuff, it's so quiet. You're like, oh, go check this out. You're like, what is this? It's literally like I use the word expose, so I'm gonna use it again here. But it's literally like an expose of how good you are at filmography. No, videography. Videography. I caught it. I was
got it.
So that was been.
That feels like it should be the word though. But go ahead.
Filmography. I know the way it rolled off the tongue. Yeah. But I mean, obviously, to add caveats, because if you aren't following these three men on Instagram, you're missing out. But all three of them have dropped phenomenal pieces of art within the past like 72 hours, and it's just been like as a fan, I watch all of y'all put out your stuff. I'm like, oh my, I've been on a real emotional kick recently, so I'm not gonna cry because of them. I'm crying because of life. But like watching y'all put out your stuff, I'm like, well, this is like what the hard work like is. Like, this is the end product. This is what y'all been working on for like the past like
I ain't never seen
So,
Christmas emotions. I love
I
it.
know it's a lot right
I
now.
love it. I appreciate it, bro.
I just wish for y'all to
I
continue
appreciate
to
it.
put out like y'all's art
Oh hell no.
because it's
Thank
like
you,
good
bro.
Soft
shit.
ass song.
I appreciate it.
We love you,
Bro,
Chris.
Hey,
So
we don't do
no more
emotions
ISO.
over here, nigga.
I receive it.
No more ISO.
I think you're 1,000% right because that meant a lot coming from you.
Thank you. Thank
Of
you.
course, yeah. Anyway, talk about what y'all put out this week.
Nah,
Fuck niggas.
Things we like. Trailer out now.
I mean, I put out a little reel. Honestly,
No,
the way,
you didn't put out a little
little
reel.
but honestly, the way I've been feeling about like just shit I've been doing is just like, yo, if you see it, you see it. I just want to attract true fans. I don't want, like you were kind of describing about Cozy, I don't want fans that just here to support me here and now and leave later. I just want people that fuck with me to fuck with me, and if you fuck with me, you fuck with me, and I fuck with you and fuck with me, and that's just it. Like if you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. I'm sorry. Like that's kind of where I'm at. Like I don't want to look for their attention. I just want it to just, if it happens, it happens.
Solid.
And I kind of just want the art to lead the way. So I'm kind of like,
It's valid. I'm sorry, not to cut you off. It's valid if you don't want to make a living out of it. And this might be my cynic speaking again, but there's no way to not get in front of the people
yeah.
to be successful.
I'm kind of stepping away from that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard as fuck. Like to not think about money and what the fuck I do. Because when we did this, I said a couple weeks ago, like it's hard to think of a profession at my age and not think about how much fucking money it's gonna make. Like, nigga, I got bills, I got a car note, nigga, insurance. Like, fuck that. Like, if it's not making money, I can't do it. But as far as art, like, I'm kind of stepping away from it and just kind of just fall in love with just what the fuck my camera does. Like in the beginning, I mean, I feel like all camera niggas do it. Like you fall in love with like buying shit and the newest whatever the fuck camera, lens, light, and I'm kind of at that stage where you kind of just gotta say fuck all that shit, nigga. Grab your camera, yo fucking stand, and a light maybe, and we out this bitch. And
Yeah.
we make what we make.
I think, and that's why it's important to have people who aren't you a part of your camp to push that for you, because like that sounds like an artist. Granted, there's no definition to what an artist is from my perspective, but like you saying that like you want to fall back in love with the camera, that's you're making art. Even the reel you post, that's like gorgeous. So it's maybe not you going through the marketing, but like finding people who are like, Tay, you made the art. And you made the art to find true fans. I'm gonna find your true fans for you
In a faster way or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, or not even a faster way, but in a way that feels organic for you.
With all the flaws that we have, I often look towards the future, and because we can't tell the future with ourselves in mind, I like to listen to older folks through their mediums of storytelling. Stand-up comedy is one of my favorites. And those older people often say, when I was this age, I was so dumb. And what you're describing in all of us, I want to say that in 10 years, we'll look back and say, damn it, I was so dumb. But in that ignorance, we have grown.
Absolutely.
And I pray and I hope and I work that all of us on this couch and all of you out there
niggas
continue day by day to grow. It doesn't have to be in a week. It doesn't have to be in a year. Anthony Bourdain, one of the most talked about food critics, celebrity chefs, got his big break at 44.
Fact.
Steve Harvey got his big break at like 30-something.
And
being homeless.
There's so much life to be lived.
And so right now, we're all so young, so talented, and so hungry that in 10 years, I hope to look back and say, I was dumb then, but I'm not dumb now.
I need some of that cynic be gone. Because you saying that, my mama told me that in like 10th grade, and I was just a cynic, and I don't know how to get out of it, but that's a fact. So if y'all niggas prescribe cynic be gone.
LOL. I mean, like,
Hope
Hope is sending me home.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I want to see what that feel like.
It's so ironic, bro. Bro, hope and faith. And this whole time, I thought I was the one without faith, bro. This nigga don't have no faith. But he got faith.
in himself.
He got faith in the Lord.
All in here.
Oh
and
my
out there.
God.
Not cap.
You did have a preacher moment when
He did.
when you got into the. I hope for all y'all today. I was
Am I
like,
gonna have
I
to
was
add
gonna.
religion
Nah.
to our shit?
And now you got to pass the collection plate. You know what I'm saying?
And with that,
I would love to get your donations.
Yeah.
It's been the podcast.
go ahead, smash that. Wait, no. Before we go out, Cozy, what did you do this week? Nigga.
I rapped. I did a whole lot of rapping.
Rapping his ass off.
And I don't plan on stopping. I did kind of chuckle with myself. I got to drop content around me singing as well, because I be rapping my ass off. Niggas hit play and I get the crooning. I don't want there to be a disconnect in what it is we do. So, but I don't know why I get a little irritated when niggas be like, instead of be like, oh, he a dope artist, da 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 da. They be like, oh, this my nigga to do R&B. I be like, what you mean by
And
that?
more.
You know what I'm saying?
R&B
But
and more.
I know it's me that's throw it off, because soon as they be like, oh, this my nigga that rap, I feel the same way. So just say, call me by my name. What that nigga
This
said?
is Cozy the artist.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Like
really funny
Destiny's
that you did
Child.
that, because I got a story about that. But, off mic.
Call me by your name.
I was thinking, say my name.
All of that. Literally.
Well-
that goes into the story.
Oh.
It goes into our hearts.
We love you. Thank
back,
you so
bitches.
much for spending your time with us. We got a little emotional here on this couch, but I want you to know it's all fun and games.
Allegedly.
Entertainment. We love you guys for tuning in. We enjoy having you in our studio from across the digital dimension. Continue to come in and Cozy, please let them know what you've been telling them for the last 30-some episodes, because they deserve to hear it.
I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
And that stems from all of us. Please, please, please like, share, subscribe. Give that like button a smash. Give that share button a smash. Next time you go out and you see somebody that's black and you love them, you say, hey, there's a podcast that you might like.
We take everyone though. We want all viewers.
We grandma too. We might shock grandma, so you might want to give her some trigger warnings. We got a back catalog. Just go ahead and click that follow button.
Nigga's outro.
God damn.
And
He had it.
Yeah. You would do it. You could. You were cooking at the beginning.
and good night.
There it is.
Hey, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. We love you, and he said all that shit. Goddamn. And shit, we on like 2 years now, goddamn. If you been here since episode 1, goddamn, leave a like and shit, goddamn. We on like 2 years. We ain't, yeah. Y'all, hey,
The
we been
bonnet
here.
is back. The bonnet is back.
Hey, what that nigga Kendrick say? Real niggas don't need therapy. Take us out.
Y'all be safe out here in these streets. We love y'all.